speaking of dumbasses, let's get back to Joe Rogan. Let's see if today is the day where Joe Rogan finally pulls the ripcord. Okay? Joe Rogan reacts to the Minneapolis shooting and ICE riots. Now, first statement out of the gates is, let's see if it's complimentary to the administration still, or maybe he's finally pulling off the exit ramp.
It's complicated, obviously, but it's also
okay. Never mind.
Very ugly to watch someone shoot a U.S. citizen, especially a woman, in the face.
Right.
Where it's like, I'm not that guy. I don't know what he thought. And again, this is a guy who had almost been run over, but it just looked horrific to me. I mean, when people say it's justifiable because the car hit him, it seemed like she was kind of turning the car away. It seemed like she was out of her mind to begin with. That lady seemed crazy.
Oh my God, he is still in the cult, dude. He is still Joe Rogan. Even like 6 years ago, Joe Rogan, even 5 years ago, would look at the situation and be like, "Nah, this is completely up." Okay. Straight up, he is so gone that he's still trying to defend the indefensible.
Right? And didn't she move there specifically to get involved in all this?
Yeah, I don't know.
She didn't seem mentally healthy, but does that mean she should be shot in the head? Is there no other way to handle this? But and then you got these people that are showing.
Oh yeah, she was mentally unhealthy. Shut the up, you bald ass bitch. God
Up
damn.
at these ICE people and they're blocking traffic, and she was one of them that was doing those kind of things where they think they're an activist and they're an agitator.
Right. But I get back to my initial sort of argument about having local police do it. They're not doing it, but in an ideal world, the way we fix this and have less ICE agents in cities where they're having a very difficult job is the local people do their job and they're not sanctuary cities.
Well, how could you stop sanctuary cities?
Well, I'm not
Is it
sure I
legal?
can. But what I'm saying is that some of the blame for ICE being there is the left and their policies of sanctuary cities.
Right.
So when they want to just say, "Oh, we hate ICE and we don't want to,"
dude, aren't you a libertarian? What the are you saying? I thought this was a libertarian, like Mr. Freedom of Movement. What the hell? What kind of libertarian looks to justify police brutality and also gets annoyed at the fact that, there is even a sanctuary city to begin with?
ICE in our city, maybe they should be reflecting that ICE is in your city because you're disobeying the law. And when someone is arrested and they're clearly not.
Come on, brother. Jesus Christ. Libertarians that argue on whether or not there needs to be a driver's license, going on the Joe Rogan Experience and talking about how, well, if the state punishes you with the oppressive force of militarized ICE units, then you were basically asking for it. What the God damn, dude. Mr. Don't Tread on Me over here talking about how, well, sometimes treading is fine. Tread on me a little bit. Maybe I was asking for it. Also, the state has a monopoly on violence, and that's why seatbelt laws should be unenforceable. Where you at, dude? Mr. Tread on Me Daddy.
Not a citizen, you're not reporting them to ICE. See, it's defiance, it's nullification. They have been nullifying our laws on deportation for years and years, and so now they have something they really dislike. But who brought it upon? My point is the left brought this. It's not an answer, but it's an explanation that the left is.
Rand Paul, as he's getting his ass beat by his neighbor that leads over a dispute, over their lawn care. He goes, you're violating the non-aggression principle. Don't you know? You are not supposed to be violating my non-aggression principle by slamming your fist into my chest. Please, stop. I guess he was also asking for it in the same way that the good people, the American citizens, the good people of Minneapolis, Minnesota were asking for ICE. What happened to Knapp, dude?
Bringing this to their cities because they're refusing to enforce the laws.
Right, and they don't want those laws. They don't like those laws. They think that once people are here, they should be able to stay. And, this is what my friend Gad Saad calls suicidal empathy.
Yep,
I
follow him.
And I think there's a balance achieved. I just don't know how it gets done because I see both perspectives. I see the perspective of the people that say, hey, there was an illegal program moving people in here to get votes, moving people in here to get congressional seats, and we've got to change that. We've got to take those people that got in and send them back to where they came from or do something, because if we don't, they're going to keep doing it if they get in office again in 2028, and it's going to accelerate. And you're going to have to take away some of the damage that's been done to a true democratic system because you've kind of hijacked it, and they kind of have. And then
Does being bald cook your brain? I mean, how do you explain the existence of Northern Lion then? You can't. Anti-bald advocates have no justification or explanation for Northern Lion, who is a wise sage, wise beyond his years, and yet he is bald. Okay? Or Slime, or Lenin, Vladimir Ilyich Lenin, famous balds. Okay? Just saying. As you guys know, I'm a bald fetishist, so don't come at me with bald slander. Joe is just a regular old dumbass.
I also see the point of view of the people that say, yeah, but you don't want militarized people in the streets just roaming around, snatching people up, many of which turn out to actually be U.S. citizens that just don't have their papers on them. Are we really going to be the Gestapo? Where's your papers? Is that what we've come to?
Yes. The answer is yes, dumbass. And a big part of the yes is because you knew that that was going to happen. Donald Trump campaigned on this, and you endorsed him. So, yeah, that is where we're at, and you endorsed him. It's not like he was hiding this. He kept saying it. He kept saying it over and over again. He kept saying, "Oh, we're gonna do the Bracero program reversal, just like old administrations did. We're gonna deport every Mexican." How the do you pull that off logistically? Of course, you're gonna do papers, please, over and over again in American streets. You wanted it, Joe. Now that it's happening, it seems like you don't like it. But instead of recognizing that you have buyer's remorse, you still try to find like a wishy-washy, both sides attitude here. Somehow finding a way to blame this on the left. God damn, dude.
So it's more complicated than I think people want to admit. You know, people want to look at this as a black and white issue. You know, if you're a compassionate person or if you're a pragmatic person, and I don't think that's true. I think it's both. I mean, I think after that woman was shot, I think unfortunately, well, everything's unfortunate about it, right? But one of the real problems is now ICE are villains, and now people are looking at them like murderous military people that are on the streets of our city, and they're masked up, which is also a problem, right? Because if you get arrested by a cop, you're allowed to ask the cop, what is your name and badge number? And you could film that cop. If you get arrested by an ICE agent, you have no such right. They're wearing a mask. They don't have to tell you shit.
Anyway, let's finish this Joe Rogan experience.
Problem. That's a problem on our city streets, right? Because you could also pretend to be an ICE agent.
Right.
So I saw this terrible story about this family that was killed where these guys pretended to be a UPS driver. And they showed up and they made their way into the house and killed people because they were dressed up as a UPS driver. If you could pretend to be a UPS driver, for sure you could pretend to be an ICE agent, especially since they're completely anonymous. So think about how many people can get arrested or robbed or by criminals.
Wow. What? Wow, Joe. He's figuring it out. Now he's realizing why it's bad to have public servants that are in plain clothes going around asking people for their paperwork. Oh my God, wait till he finds out that this has already happened. There have been cases of people claiming to be ICE agents trying to people, as a matter of fact. Wow, Joe, you're a big boy, Joe. Next week, he's going to figure out that this is actually bad. Okay? He's showing signs of intelligence, guys. I mean, it took him a while to get here, but hey, he's getting here. Wow.